The South Lassen Watershed Group really started almost 20 years ago now. The Sierra Institute was facilitating a watershed group simply focused on Lake Almanor called the Almanor Basin Watershed Advisory Committee. And that was set up sort of as an advisory body to the local county board of supervisors. And over time, that group grew and became interested in taking a more active role within the watershed, and eventually came together and decided that it needed to look beyond the immediate basin around the lake and think about the landscape more broadly. Suppression of fire in particular, and looking to treat the entire landscape, so public land, private land, across boundaries, and just really take a holistic perspective to allow us to bring back those natural processes.
It has member groups from about 25 different organizations. That includes the Lassen National Forest, the Lassen Volcanic National Park, our local timber industry, including Collins Pine and Sierra Pacific Industries, and then importantly, the Maidu Summit Consortium is part of our collaborative group, which represents 9 local tribes.
Forest collaboratives, watershed collaboratives are important because of a commitment to work together. Way more often than not, they end up with better decisions, better processes, and better outcomes. We don't have the luxury of time like we perhaps could have or did have 20 years ago. We know we have to treat this landscape. And that doesn't mean intensive harvest, but it does mean thinning, reintroduction of fire, and really prioritizing where we do our work.
The scope of the Dixie Fire is unlike anything that we've seen before, and can drive several hours from one side of the Dixie Fire to the other side. That sort of constant background of the Dixie Fire just provides daily reminders to folks about the importance of this work.
In these rural communities in the area, the public lands are somewhat a part of the community, and as such, the collaborative landscape was drastically impacted by the fire.
The first meeting that we had immediately after the Dixie Fire was emotionally draining, emotionally challenging, and at the same time, it was cathartic in terms of bringing people together and having them listen to one another and share their stories. And so in a sense, a recognition of we really are in this together.
People have been hit in a lot of different ways, from losing their houses to severe mental health issues that have made it to where it's challenging to be in the community that you once loved. A lot of what we're seeing coming out of the Dixie Fire are people pulling together to try and re-identify what their values are in the community and come together and determine what we collectively would like to see values in mind to establish what a vision is.
Anytime a fire affects the landscape that you have a personal attachment to, accepting the change is definitely a process. But again, that's why I do what I do. We're always looking toward the future and trying to affect the change going forward too.
Now that the fire's out and contained, we are now in the repair stage. And I think that has sparked the emphasis for the larger landscape projects, or looking at that level.
Recognizing that some of the threats the landscape faces today, and particularly wildfire, fire doesn't recognize those jurisdictional boundaries, and it's operating at a much larger scale than we have historically. We kind of need to meet that challenge and focus on larger landscapes, larger projects. And the group focusing on this million-acre landscape helps to bring together the individual projects that all of those partners are already working on, and also uncover opportunities for collaboration